Hi, I'm Mike from Mike's Carburetor Parts, and I'm doing a video series on the Rochester Quadrajet Marine 4-barrel carburetor. And we've already done the float bowl, so now we're going to put the top on it. And the first thing I want to mention about the top is, well, for one thing, check this spring in here. There's a loaded spring that keeps your secondary flaps closed, and want to be sure it's working. These tubes, just make sure they're tight. They just simply press in. If any loose, just take a hammer and probably a piece of brass or something, just tap them a little bit just to make sure they stay in there. Okay, and so let's put the bowl gasket on it. Okay, and see this little flap right here I made? You just slip that underneath the metering rods here, and again make sure. Let's see it's sticking here, so I got something wrong. Well, let's see, I got it on backwards for one thing. I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Alright, little post there it can go on, and you see this is still free. You want to make sure that's not going to be hindered by the gasket. Alright, so we have our auxiliary pump return spring in there. Let's put the, we got our little choke linkage here, and it goes on a little lever inside. I didn't take that apart. You could. This one didn't need it. Okay, gotta get that right in its hole. Okay, so we got that ready, and we'll get our auxiliary pump in there. Gotta get it all lined up here. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this down and just feed our auxiliary pump through the appropriate hole here, and we'll get our little wait a minute, I do this wrong. I gotta kind of bend this around. I usually put that linkage in after I have the top on, which I think I'm gonna do, because this is too much trouble. Thought I'd try it that way. Alright, leave that out. Okay. Now, these got to line up with the appropriate holes, so you know, don't force it. Just carefully get it lined up so everything slides in where it's supposed to go. Okay. Once you get it lined up, it'll just float down. I'm just going to get a couple of screws in here to hold it together. Oh, don't go there. That's the wrong screw for sure. Okay. Okay, check the auxiliary pump. Feels okay. Alright, now I'm going to put the base on, or the throttle body. You could take these apart, but this one is so nice that you hardly ever have to take the Marine apart. You don't have to bush them. They don't wear like the automotive do, and the action is real nice and smooth on it. So you know, why mess with a good thing? You can really create yourself some problems taking those off sometimes. So at any rate, get our gasket. Let's see, probably put it on here first. Mentioned in the first video about putting the epoxy here, and this one here you don't want to get too much, or you won't be able to get the well, actually both of them, the gasket on. If you do, just kind of file around a little bit. And again, we got these little posts that it You can always put some silicone spray lubricant on these gaskets too. Keep them from sticking. Alright, we'll line this up. Goes on like so. And in this case, we have the Phillips head screws. And we got two of them, one on each side. Okay. Better screwdriver. For some reason, what have I got messed up here? I don't have the gasket on good. I think that's the problem here. This one always wants to fit kind of tight to get them over the post there. Okay. See, that's what happens when you're doing a video. I'm thinking about the video, what comes next in the video, and I'm not paying a lot of attention to the carburetor, so you have to bear with me sometimes. There, I had that on backwards. That's things don't go together, you know, you got something wrong. Alright, so there, it looks good here. Okay, try this again. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to snug these down, but I have two screws to put in through the top, so I'll come back and tighten these up. Don't forget to do it. Okay, so that's the two screws there. I'm going to flip it over. And you got the two long screws here that go on the front. Don't over tighten these. This is where the carburetors get warped. Or should I say one of the places it can get warped. Okay, I got them pretty snug, so I'm going to flip it back over one more time here. And tighten these screws down here with the Phillips screwdriver. Okay, flip it over. Look, make sure, keep an eye on things, make sure it's not binding anywhere. Alright, we'll give these one more little, actually I should go put the rest of them on first and then go in sequence. Your instruction sheet, you can see right here it has a sequence on tightening the screws, so basically start the inside and work your way out. That's what I do. Okay, we got these screws that go in here. Get them down there. Alright, how did I lose one of those screws? Never fails. Okay, I dropped it somewhere. Get this one started. and I'll go find anyway. You would have two down here. I'll get them all started. I think I have a screw everywhere that I need one. Okay, so you start the inside tighten. You go 1, 2. I'm not going to tighten yet because I got to find one more screw. Do these two first, and then these out here. Okay. Do the end one. And then your two real long ones, and then these out here. Okay, you don't have to reef on them; just snug them up good. All right, so that's that part. Let's see if I can fish this choke. Choke linkage. Okay, so I got it in the hole. Yes, I think I do. Okay, there we go. Got that okay. And your little clip should have a new one here. Okay, they're right here. Little horseshoe clip. Oops, squeeze that one too much. You gotta watch it. Okay. That didn't work at all like I wanted it to. Put another one on here. To get it where you're just squeezing the end of it, not the whole thing. Okay. Alright, that's tight. Does move the choke okay. Okay. Put our linkage out here. This was in this hole here. Okay, we'll go like so, and take a screwdriver, and what I usually is don't reef on it too much. You're going to bust something. I just try and eyeball it through the hole to get it lined up. And these don't go in very hard. You just got to get it lined up right, and then it'll go in. There we go. See, just slid right in. You don't want to pry too hard. You're going to break your air horn or something that you don't want to break. Okay, that's feeling good. Okay, so got that on. Now we're going to get our secondary metering rods on. If you ever need these, there's a number stamped on here, and that's what you'll need to get these. Okay, as you can see, they go outside in. And just this way a little bit. So there's two holes down there. I kind of hold them here with my finger so that they don't fall off, which I can do easily. And there, slid right down the hole. And there's a very small screw that'd be easy to lose. Incidentally, the screw just goes in here. You tighten it. I use these. They're kind of I found these plastic cookie sheets. I used to use metal, but I found a bunch of plastic at one of those dollar stores. And they got this lip around the edge, you can see it, and keeps all these little parts inside. I got tired of dumping the things off my bench and never finding them, so at least this thing, they still jump out from me, but sometimes. But oh, there's my screw that goes in the middle. I didn't see it. Anyway, these are great for taking small things apart where you have a lot of little screws and things. I can't claim the idea. Somebody else, I don't know where I've seen it. Maybe YouTube or something. Okay. Got my screw in, so now I can go back and make sure they're all tight. Okay. Good. Alright, so there we go there. Okay. What do we got next here? Well, we can put in the it has a little screen on it for a filter. I kind of like well, these Marines always seem to come with this type, but I'm going to see if I have a ceramic. I have to make sure the ceramic will actually fit in this thing. I think that'll work. I think I like that better. And I actually, if this was mine, I would put an inline fill filter somewhere anyway. Something easy to get to and be able to change, especially the ethanol problem now. So we got a new little plastic, oops, they don't go there, it goes in the, on some of these they go in right in there. But this one, where is it? Now, first of all, let's don't forget our spring. We can tip this up a little bit so that we can see it. Okay. Oops. This happens to be a metal washer. These sometimes are a problem with leakage. And one thing you can do, I don't like using Teflon tape. I find that stuff in the needle and seat all the time when I take carburetors apart. And what I like to use here is this, it's called a liquid, really isn't liquid. It's liquid Teflon. It's more of a paste. Just put a little bit. You don't want any inside the carburetor, but it helps keep it from leaking. They sometimes aren't. I've been on and off a bazillion times. Okay. You notice this carburetor has some black paint on it. Hardly ever, if the paint's good, you hardly ever can get it all off, which is okay. We still got it clean. Now the other thing is you just kind of work this back and forth a few times. That'll also help seat that gasket. Okay, I get that pretty snugged up. All right, without breaking it. Take your time putting it in so you don't strip it. Get told all the time people got to strip these things, and that's all. Of course, I have been guilty of doing such things many a time too. But all right, let's see here. What do we got next here? We got our choke pull off here, and to simply test that, you can use your mouth and suck on it to get a little vacuum in there, and this should pull back and then it should stay there. If not, order a new one. Okay, so it'll go on out here. You got this little hose. Okay, and this goes in here like that, I believe. And then I put this on. It actually goes inside there. You can see it. Okay, and this just simply locks in like that. Okay, so, and you can get a look at that, how that went. So, when this pulls, you can help pull your pull this closed here. Okay. Get the hose on here. Oops, popped out. Alright. So, alright, let's not forget our, speaking of forgetting, I'm sure I did this, but just in case, I'd take another shot at my Phillips screws in the bottom. Okay, they're tight. I must have did it. Okay. Let's put our item mixer screws in, and you don't want any grooves on the end. You want it in. And before I look at these, I always buff these down with the brush, and because sometimes a groove really isn't a groove, it's just a black mark. And as long as they're nice and smooth, you're good to go there. And we'll get them started, and if not, put new ones in it. And some people like to replace them no matter what. The marine carburetors tend to not be wore out as much as the automotive. They just, you know, don't get the number of rebuilds that automotive do. Alright, so I just snugged it down, and we're going to come out about 3 to 4 turns. So half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, yeah, 3.5. Okay, good place to start. You're going to have to finish adjusting this. Put your vacuum meter on the thing. Alright, half, 1, half, 2, half, 3.5. Alright, 3.5 turns on them. Okay, so there you go. Alright, we got a vacuum vent here, we got another one here, probably goes to the smog, as I recall. Okay, that's it. I think I've got it all on there. Okay, where's that screw go? Did I take one off on the outside? I think it may have been from another project. Oh, no. Nope, it didn't go there. If you need to take this off, really not necessary, as to they're just one screw. Okay, so alright, that's basically it for the Marine. They come with a air cleaner to carburetor gasket here, but I wish they didn't put them in the kits, but they do. The Coast Guard recommends not using these because they tend to absorb fuel, and of course you can have a fire. So anyway, so the kit has a flange gasket, so we'll replace that, and that's pretty much it for rebuilding your Quadrajet Marine. And we'll do some outside adjustments. They're all in the instruction sheet here, and I'll see if I can get time. I'll make a video just for that. They're all pretty easy to follow, though. And there you go. I appreciate you watching it.